Hello guys, in today's training you will write down everything that you want in each area of your life. This is the final training of the part where you create more clarity about yourself. From the next time we will continue with the planning. This is part of a free YouTube series for creating a clear vision and an organized plan for your life ahead. A link with all of the training so far you can find in the description below of this video. The main thing about this training is to write down everything that you really want in each area of your life. Everything that really makes you feel alive, that really makes you feel happy and joyous. Not just the things that we should want, not just the things that we feel like reasonable or unreasonable to want, but the things that feels truly aligned for us and make us feel alive. At the end, when you look all of the goals that you wrote down in each area, you have to feel inspired. At the end, when you look all of the goals that you wrote down in each area, if you feel inspired, it means that you did a great job. But if you look at your vision and your goals and you don't feel inspired, it means that probably you played too small. You wrote down goals that you just heard from somebody that you should want, or you felt too scared to write down the things that you really want. And this is how you end up with an vision that is not really inspiring personally for you. So from the beginning, make the decision that you will write down the things that you really want. You don't have any obligation to work on those goals after that, but at least you have the obligation to be honest with yourself and recognize what you truly want. Whenever I talk about this part of the training, some people say that they feel uncomfortable to write down what they truly want. And this is because they have been writing down a lot of things they want, and some of those things never happened. And it can be really disappointing to think that you will write something that you truly want, but you might never get it. And then you feel this kind of uncomfortable feeling that you don't want to even write down what you want. And I think this is something that we can all relate to. But I want to give you another perspective. If you decide that you are too disappointed in order to go towards what you really want, then your other option is actually not doing what you truly want and then wasting your time on something that you didn't want. And okay, you might have success in this thing, but it will be still disappointing because it was not the thing that you truly want. For me personally, I decided that I will write down everything that I truly want that makes me really happy and really alive, and I will work towards those goals. And even if I don't achieve them, I will know that I have invested my time in something that is truly important for me. And at some point, if I have a failure in some of my goals, I will just ask myself, is this still really important for me? Do I still want to work on this thing? And if the answer is yes, I just continue working on those things. Yes, of course, I can change my approach. I can change something around the goal. I can change whatever I think will improve it. But still, my focus is not just to achieve the end goal, because that can be really disappointing. I always bring back myself to the point that I am working towards something that is really important for me. And even if I don't achieve this goal at the end, I will still feel proud with myself and I will still feel good about myself because I invested my time in something that I truly want, instead of not working on something just because I might be disappointed that I will not get it eventually. So with this mindset, no matter if I achieve my goal or not, I'm still winning because I spend my time in something that is really important for me. So if you feel that kind of uncomfortable feeling to write down big goals and what you truly want, just because you feel that fear and that unpleasant feeling that you might be disappointed once again, don't worry, we all feel that. But the idea is that we will try again. Ask yourself, is this really important for you? If yes, just write it down. Write it as something that you truly want to continue working on. And at some point, if you ask yourself, okay, after all of this disappointment, do I still want to work on this goal? And if at some point the answer is no, I'm actually done with this, you can just stop it. But the idea here is to be really honest with yourself, really honoring your desires, and not letting disappointment stop you from continuing to work on something that is important for you. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay if other people disappoint you. And it's also okay if you disappoint other people. Disappointment can bring you down only if you allow it to stop you working on things that are really important for you. I have many examples in my life that whenever something is important, I'm just continuing working on it. And most of the times, not always, but most of the times, the solution comes at some point. And even if it doesn't come again, I'm proud with myself and I'm okay because I know I'm working on something that's really important for me. So again, make the decision to write down in each area all of the things that you truly want, that it feels expansive and inspiring for you. Okay, now I will show you how this part of the training looks like in the Excel spreadsheet. In the online software, we will go through each steps. I will give you some directions, and then of course, whenever you have time, you can fill it on your own. If you haven't choose a tool to create and work on your vision, in the description below, I will put a link with the 3 options that I'm giving you for this training. Okay, so this is how it looks like in the Excel spreadsheet. In the beginning, this is a Canva template that you can create a visual of your vision. I will put a link in the description below also for this template so you can use it. I also included some other more fancy template, but this one is more simpler and I love it and I use it for myself. So yes, I will put a link and you can choose to use some of the templates, or maybe you can create your own visual of your vision and place it here. The idea is to have something that visually represents your vision. The next part here, which is vision and mission, actually these parts are best if you feel it at the end of the training. So I will come back to them when we go through the other things. And here, when we start, these are the different areas in our life. Health, here is the place where you write down your answer. All of these questions here that I wrote down are just an example. And if in some area you are not sure what you want to write, or you just write 1 or 2 things and you're wondering what else should I write, you can use some of those questions and come up with some goals that are really expansive and inspiring for you. I do think that I wrote down a little bit too much text and maybe a little bit too much questions, but it doesn't matter. If you don't need it, you just delete it. And if in some area you feel stuck and you don't know what to write, use those questions in order to connect with what you really want and what kind of goals you would like to put. So here you write down goals related to your health. Maybe it's something about creating better eating habits, or maybe your fitness goals, or maybe your sleeping goals, or maybe something else that you want to improve according to your health. Another thing that I also usually use this part is if I want to remind myself about something around some area, I usually just insert one cell and I'm writing down different things. For example, in health, I wrote down all of the exams. I do health exams, health checkup 1 time a year on June, and I wrote down everything that I want to check each year. So whenever I'm doing my revision around March or June or July, I can put this in my calendar and start doing my checkups. Another thing that I include in health is, for example, all of the things that I have seen and I want to try related to health. If I see some product or service or something interesting that caught my attention, I would write it down here. And I create this kind of categories where everything that I want related to health is right here. So if you want to put something additional in each area, you can absolutely do that. The next area is career and business. And here again, this is your area where you write down all of the goals that you want around this area. And if you are stuck, you can read some of those questions and connect with some goals that are really inspiring and expansive for you. The next area is love. Here you can write down what are your love goals if you are dating, if you are in a relationship, things that you want to experience with your partner, or whatever it is related to love that is, again, inspiring and expansive for you. The next part is finance and financial freedom. Here you can write down, again, everything that you want related to finance and financial freedom. When we are going through the budget here, we will talk a little bit more about that, but here is again, you can write down how much you want to earn per month, how much is your financial freedom number, what do you want to invest in. Another interesting thing that I include here, like, is another category under this area is things that I love spending money on and things that I don't like spending money on. If you remember, when we were talking about the values, we also talked about how if we are spending money that are connected to things that represent our values, we usually feel like we are making a good investment. But if we are spending money for things that we don't see as important, then we feel like we are wasting our money. So it's good to have that kind of awareness and know that for some things it feels nice to spend your money, and for other things it doesn't feel good. And then we can save our money and spend it on something that really feel enjoyable and valuable and meaningful for us. The next category is friends and community. Here again, you can write down if you have any goals around friendships, around communities, around connection and relationship with other people. An additional category that I put in this area is things that I'm looking for in friendships. I think that friendships become a lot more complicated when we get older, and I think that we are becoming a lot more concise about what kind of people we want around ourselves. So it's really good to have a clear view what kind of people you want to connect and what do you expect from your friendships, what are you willing to give. So here I wrote down what I'm looking for in a friendships, what I need in friendships to feel good. Instead of sometimes we are kind of led from insecurities and desire to be liked, desire to be included, desire to be wanted from other people, and then we sometimes end up in friendships that we don't really like, or we cannot be really authentic and we are not really supported. So for me, one of the things that I recently added here is like things that I am looking for in friends, things that I know I need in friendship in order to feel good, and then I can communicate those needs with other people. If you have any other things that you feel important around this area of friends or communities or something like this, you can add it here. The other area is rest, pleasure, and adventures. Here you write down everything that you really want related to your free time. What you want to do in your free time, what you want to do for pleasure, what kind of adventure do you want to experience, how much time do you want to have rest during the week, what kind of trips or adventures you really want to experience. If there are some things that you want to expand on, you can just insert another cell and just write down everything that you want, or things that you want to be reminded of. Because again, every 3 months we will go through this list and we will read it. Okay, so the next area is environment. It's about everything around us: home, office, car, phone. Here you can write down things that you really want related to your environment. What kind of home do you want? Or things related inside your home. What kind of car you want? What kind of clothes do you want to wear? Everything that you think of as an environment, you can write it down here. And if you are stuck, you can read some of those questions and connect with something that is really inspiring and expansive for you. The next area is kids. Here you can write down everything that you think about goals related to your kids. Maybe it's about school, maybe it's about learning some language, maybe it's about learning a skill or a music instrument or something like that. Again, here I wrote some questions that if you don't know what to write, you can read it and connect with something that is really expansive and exciting for you. The next area is finishing the unfinished. And this is actually something quite important because a lot of our time, a lot of our mental capacity, and a lot of our emotional capacity goes to thinking about things that are unfinished in our life. Maybe you have heard somebody say, "Oh, I haven't finished that thing." Well, why would I start the next thing? Or maybe you are the one saying that to yourself. It's important to recognize how much time and how much energy we are losing in things that are unfinished. They are things that are truly holding us back. So here you can write down all of the things that are unfinished and decide really clearly, do I want to finish this thing or do I want to let it go? And if you decide that you don't want to finish something, you take the clear decision to remove it, to not think about it anymore. So those things, they can be, for example, things that you already started but you have never finished, or things that you have thought about it many times but you have never started, but they are still sitting in your head and taking space. Another thing is you need to write down also all of your unfinished business with all of the people around you. So, for example, if there is some kind of relationship with somebody that you always thought, I always wanted to tell him that, I always wanted to do this with this person, or whatever it is, the idea is to write those things down and slowly start to connect with those people and say whatever you wanted to say, do whatever you wanted to do, because those things, they will stay in your head and they will take a lot of energy. You will go constantly in a lot of moments, you will think about those things, you will think about those people, and they are just bringing you backwards. So if you have something unspoken with somebody that you are thinking, I always wanted to tell this person this thing, call them. Make an arrangement with them for a coffee or for lunch or something like that and have this conversation. I know that this can be really uncomfortable with some people, but the idea is that you want to clear this from your life, so you have enough energy to pour into your vision. And here again are some directions that I already told you about, but if you, whenever you fill this form, if you don't remember what I was saying, you can read it. It's all about unfinished things, unfinished relationships, unspoken things, things that doesn't feel clear, things that are not finished. Okay, so now we will go to the first part where is vision and mission, and I will actually switch to the software. This is how it looks like. The structure in the software again is the same. Here you can put the visual of your vision. As I said, I will put a link down below for the Canva template and you can just upload it here. In the software, I didn't include all of the explanation and questions that you can have in the Excel spreadsheet, but in case you really want to use them, you can just download the Excel spreadsheet and read it from there. The link with the tools is also in the description below. So here are the same areas that we already talked about. Here I just wanted to show you that you can remove things and you can add another thing if you want. But the final part here is the vision and the mission. Here in this part, vision, we write down short and very clear summary of our vision. It can be, for example, how a lot of people do it, just write down briefly a vision of your perfect day. And you write different things about your day that are connected to your vision. Or another option is to write down different sentences that are reflecting each area, so you have the most condensed version of each area that you already wrote. Here is just about giving a brief summary about our vision. So at some point, if you really want to connect with your vision, you can come here and just read this short, brief summary of your vision instead of going through all of the areas. And in this part here, mission becomes quite a fancy word, but the idea here is to give yourself kind of focus. What are you working towards? You can write down, my mission for the next 3 months is to improve my sleep, or my mission for the next 3 months is to improve my eating habits. If you have some kind of other mission that you feel connected to, of course you can write it down here, but the idea is that if you don't have some kind of big mission that you are connecting to at the moment, or you usually are a person maybe that you usually feel mission in life, but in this moment is more confusing period for you, just focus on your health. Most of us have heard that mission is something big, And most of us are looking for something really big to be our mission. But I think that a lot of us go through different periods of life, and some of those periods are really confusing. And when you are in these confusing periods, I think the best thing for us is to focus on our health. So no matter if you have a really big mission at the moment, or you're in a period where you lost connection with your mission, just write down something that is important for you at the moment in a short, brief, practical way. Okay, so now you can take some time and write down everything that you want for yourself in each area. As usual, don't try to make it right, but focus on being truly authentic and honest with yourself, and know that after 3 months you will do your revision and you can change it, you can edit anything that you want. The most important thing is to write down things that you truly want. I usually don't want to push people to have big visions, but I also want to let you know that actually your vision put into perspective everything in your life. If you have a small vision, that means that every problem that come up for you will seem a really huge, unbearable thing. But if you have a big vision, then whenever some problem comes to your way, you will feel like it's more easy to overcome it. Not because it's easy to overcome it, but because your mind is thinking for a lot bigger things. So this is how your vision put into perspective everything in your life. Alright, that's about it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments below. From the next time, we are starting with the planning part. You can find a link with all of the trainings so far in the description below. If you want to receive all of the trainings in your inbox, you can sign up for my email list, link in the description below. Subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment even if it's your favorite emoji, because this is how you help me with the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you in the next video.